So I guess just a few things after I recorded this video, I just wanted to say. One is that you could do a really deep dive if you wanted on Gitpod.io. I went through as part of my prep for this semester. I went through, and I'm not recommending you do this. I'm just giving you more information than some of you might want. There's actually a cloud developer certification environment and part of their course that is on Free Code Camp, which, by the way, if you don't know Free Code Camp, check them out. But they did a deep dive 12-hour. You can see I went to part of it. And I was amazing how many things you can do with Gitpod. I mean, that's part of why I chose it. But FYI, and so you could just search for Gitpod tutorials and you would just see if you wanted a quick one. This one was pretty cool because it was fairly recent as of the recording I'm doing right now. And there are other ones out there you can check out as well, but I just wanted to give you that. So one thing, if you've been coding and you've closed out your browsers, no problem. Just go back to Gitpod, which might be good to actually bookmark it at this case, just so you have it. But then and I actually never got that changes to show up. I think it's only on the public one that happens, but you can see that as we go forward. But one thing, just FYI, once you've made sure you've completed the Git workflow and that all the code that you had done is over on GitHub, okay? If for some reason for a troubleshooting mechanism that something went weird, didn't work quite right on your workspace, right? So you were in here, but maybe once you learn how to run code, right, it wasn't running right, something, right? What you can do is you actually can just stop or actually delete these workspaces and recreate them the way we did before. Like I said, they will time out after 30 minutes of inactive use. Now, I actually haven't hit up against the 30 minutes of active use, so we might hit that as well. But once you're inactive, if you have your browser just setting open and you're doing other things and you're going to come back to it later, this may be inactive. And then you would just go back to Gitpod, right? And then these would be gray. And then you would just click into here to come back into it. Okay. So this one actually should have timed out based on the 30-minute ago. Maybe it's the difference between opening it in the browser and actually actively coding, maybe. So notice there's a limit of 50 of these you can have. Should be more than enough for our courses. For our class, you only need one for your public and your private. And that's really all you need. If you ever needed to delete them, again, only do this if you're sure that you've pushed your code, right? Because remember, once you've created these workspaces, you've created a file system and a computer operating system and a platform for these repos. And if for some reason you delete before you push the code, that code then is lost, and you just don't want to do that. It's not clean. Okay. So if for some reason you said it was acting weird and you wanted to do this, just make sure you've pushed that code into GitHub. Okay. All right. So for me, I haven't found any reason yet to actually delete them, but I'll tell you as we go forward, as I play with them more, there may be a need to do that. Okay. As I said in the last video, and I think it's worth repeating, right? There is so much good information on these getting started about learning VS Code and the fundamentals. I definitely recommend going through that and playing around. And again, if you're somebody that wants a deeper dive, because learning how to really take advantage of these, what we call virtualized container environments out in the cloud is really beneficial, then, think about either the one I showed or some of the others content on YouTube. Like, I wouldn't do this one 3 years ago. No way. Why? It's too old. 3 years ago for a product like this that is moving so quickly. No, so it's nothing I would check out now. A year ago, yeah, maybe. And I think I actually did watch part of this until I realized, no, I really want something a little more in depth. And that's why I got to this one. Now, your search results will vary, okay? But in general, Gitpod.io. Okay, so now, good for you. At this point, you're actually ready to go on to the how did it go. And by the way, I need to because I'm going to redo this assignment a little bit. And these are not graded assignments. These are just pre-work for this class that to help you get set up so that we can actually start into the actual work in week 1. All right. Thanks for hanging in there. I'll talk to you later.